Hey everybody, it's Sam Laxton here. Today we're going to be looking at the project file for my new single, which is called Antithesis. It is out now on Critical Overload and has been supported by Paul Van Dyke, Photographer, Nitrous Oxide, many more. It's a psytrance-y crossover track with a bit of tech trance and uplifting influences. So yes, let's not waste any time, let's get into the project. So I think the most logical thing to do would be to move from the top and go all the way down. First layer is a percussive element which plays in the first minute. It's kind of like a poppy sound. It's from Within Reason, so it's one of the built-in sounds, and that's teamed up with another layer of clicks from the same drum machine. And then I have two pads from Spire here. One's playing an ARP and one's playing the under sort of sound. It's kind of like a trippy tone. And then there's the ARP. After that there is a sound effect here. Sound of like a pitched down bleepy sound. And then I have another ARP here from within Spire. A lot of the sounds in this are from Spire, then bounced to audio because I wanted to be able to save CPU. And then next layer was the sort of weirdish, droppish sound, which I just think is outrageous, really. Along with that, there's another acid, and then if we keep going, offbeat, alarmish sound. And then there is also these claps, hand claps with a bit of reverb on. It's a little built-in RV7000 reverb. And then another atmosphere gated sample from a psytrance pack, but only using it as a layer within the pads. It's not like a main sound. I'm not actually sure if you can hear it in the final version. And then there's another pad here from Spire which is using the breakdown. It's kind of the low mids area, and then that's teamed up with another pad later on, which I'll show you, from Reason itself. This is one of the layers from the main lead. It's a guitarish layer from Spire. And then you team that up with the other layer, which is a more synthy, supersaurish. So when they work together, they're very, very nice. Unique sound. Next is these plucks. That's another one from Spire. I really did go Spire overload. Next is the pad here. This is from Within Reason. So this is the main sort of candy and juniorish pad. That's made with a lot of reverb in Maelstrom. It's kind of like an emulation of the Juno sounds and Roland sounds. Loads of reverb there. Bass pad, which I think is just a sine at this point. Bass pads here. Yeah, that feels like yeah, it's actually a square. It's a square wave with the filter frequency pulled all the way down. This is a few sound effects here. Booming sound. Kind of like a timpani. And then we have this arpeggio here, which is another one from Spire. What's this here? Let's have a look. Ah yes, this is another one. That's another one from Spire actually. Snares which I've cut. As you can see, they're all jumping up, doubling themselves up, so it goes like dun, 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 dun. The pitch goes up at the end there. Now there's some samples here to put through a ton of reverb. This is the big clap, and I use this sound in loads of my tracks. This one's in Decadence. It's in my remix of The Last Word. It's in Thunderstorm. I think it's in most of my tracks. It's a big smacking clap which goes. It just really adds to the entire atmosphere of the track. And then there's some reverse sound effects which I also used in most of my tracks from the past year. I'm not using it anymore, I'm using different samples, but these ones really worked. It was like a dual layer. Just have a look at this. I used them in a few remixes and originals. Then there's these weird samples that are just dotted about. Sounds from over distorting a lead with Reason's built-in effects. It creates a sort of dial-up modem sound. Then there's the samples which I use to create speech. If I take the effects off that, you can hear what the original says, I think.
Part of the word is thesis, the other half is antithesis, and when you bring them together, that is called synthesis.
There you go. So that's with some stereo imaging. It's a bit of delay using the alligator filtered gate on Reason. Quite not the norm for me as productions is to mess around with vocals that way. I normally like to keep things raw, but I wanted to push myself, I guess. And there's loads of white crash sounds here, sweeps and white sound effects. And here is little drum rolls. And we also have these sounds. These chopped up vocals. There's another synth sample. That is used in loads of Psytrance tracks. Same goes for the Psytrancey zaps. Love the Psytrance Zap. There's another synth from Within Reason. Harmonics of that are quite trippy, so I think it sits quite well. And there's some other random samples, like a tin, like hitting the top of a drum, or hitting the top of a bin. Sorry. Hardstyle sound effects. That's pitched up, I believe. Let's have a look. Actually, it has been stretched, and then small sound effects, drop bass, kind of like on a guitar, more synth samples, drum roll again, deep Psytrance bass, which I think is down another octave, and then a standard crash, and then we get the drums kick, and then the hi-hat. There's some hats with reverb. Yeah, that's the one. And then there's some closed ones. I think they're dry. And there's some more hats here. So there's a dry one and a one with reverb, and then there's a sort of white noise-ish snare sound. And then there's some loops from the Vengeance packs. All chopped up, really. Next is the bass line itself, which is just a bass sample, Psytrance sample, some processing on to boost it in the key of the track, which is E. So it goes off beat for the first minute and a half. Then we do some sort of funky, and then goes full on. Some hard stylish gabberish kicks, which are just mainly used as sound effects. Another sample from hardstyle, stretched. Another. And then some synth stab sounds here. Some reverb on it. Let's have a look at these. Yep, more stabs. Pad samples. There's also Hans Zimmer style cinematic booms. And there's also this synth, little spacey. This track really is all about putting together loads of different elements to create a groove and to create loads of anticipation of the next section. It's bizarre looking at it bit by bit, because I now only really remember it as being the whole. It's another sample there. But together, it's crazy. Crazy. that is the track, really. Please do check it out, the full final version. You can grab it on Beatport now, and yeah, thank you for the support, everybody.